HooHooHooRobin.
You're listening to Opie Anthony. On the virus. Sirius XM.
You're checking out the Opie and Anthony Show. Louie CK in studio today. Caroline's tomorrow night. It's a benefit, but you don't have to worry about that. Who cares? Go there to laugh. Yes. And it will help Louie's kids' school, but there's going to be no preaching, just some fine comedy from Louie CK tomorrow night at Caroline's. 212-757-4100.
What song is this?
This is Rat. Day Tripper, yeah.
It's round and round. Right?
Yeah.
877-212-0-A.
Day Tripper, I always thought was Date Ripper.
Really? Date Ripper, yeah.
You're stupid.
Let's make that up.
Why?
Because I figured I wanted to say something that had no comedic value whatsoever. And mission accomplished.
Round and round. What else is going on in the world today? It's kind of a slow news day. We were going to try to talk about the Super Bowl, but I don't think...
Who cares?
It doesn't have the buzz this year, really.
It's probably going to be one of the lowest rated ever. It's going to be one of those things. No one cares. Everyone's broke. They're more worried about their own jobs than stupid football game.
We're still having the Super Bowl. I think it's a sign we're okay. We're okay.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of fat we could trim that we haven't yet. Like, we're not doing that. People are panicking. But
like emotional fat?
I mean, like, we still have huge mountains of stuff we could lose before we're even close to being like Canada, even. Before we're anywhere near a normal country. Before we stop being the gilded city on the hill.
Right.
I mean, we have hot dog eating contests and funny car races. We're fine.
Yeah, until that stuff starts going away.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No, the Super Bowl with fireworks and some idiot's going to play in the halftime. And
we're going to make believe we love the commercial.
Yeah, and all the girls are going to spell something out with their vaginas. We're fine.
We got to start panicking when those things go away.
Yeah, that's a lot between that and everybody having a donkey with pots clanging on the sides and a blanket.
You notice the homeless out there, though, Lou?
There are a lot. Well, and
our population's grown a little bit in the last couple of months.
Yeah. They're overnight homeless. I figured out who some of these guys are, seriously, because I was on 14th Street and I was actually high on marijuana pot, which I never do.
Were you really, though?
I was really high.
Are you back on the dope?
I never get high. I don't even drink. If I go drinking, I'll have half a beer and everybody makes fun of me and then I hide it somewhere.
Crazy.
I can't do any of that stuff. But I went to see my friend Doug Benson, a comedian who is a giant joint. And
he loves his pot, that guy.
Yeah, so I went and hung out with him and I got high and I need to get away from people right away because I'm high and I can't cope with people. And I just don't like the way my mouth and hands feel or look. And I get upset. Yeah. People are looking at my mouth and hands. So I go and
Such a pot thing.
Yeah. But so I go to the meatpacking 14th Street, I just want to look at people, but I don't, because I also don't want to be alone because I'll kill myself.
Don't interact, though.
Yeah, I don't want to interact, exactly.
You go to the meatpacking district, then you don't like how your mouth and hands look. It's around the hog of a tranny.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you.
But that's now a big teeming nightclub scene. It's crazy now.
Huge.
So I'm watching people walking around and fights starting, and it's kind of interesting. And there's a homeless guy perched on a mailbox like a crow, literally crouched.
Really?
And he says, can I have some, and he asked me for money. And I looked at him because he looked like fresh homeless.
Looked a little too clean.
Yeah, he didn't have that many layers on him. He hadn't slept on that many nights out or anything. And so I asked him about his life and stuff, and he was Pakistani, and he worked for the city as a janitor. And he said, just matter of fact, he says, I have a problem where I see snails on my hands and arms, and I need to cut them. And then I start to scream, and I can't really keep a job when I'm like that. But I've got medication that keeps that from happening. Like, he didn't say there are snails in my arms. He says, I see that sometimes. He knows it's not there.
That would have freaked me out.
But he really believes it when he sees it. So he takes pills that stave it off.
Did you work at a French restaurant, Lou?
It's like, those were snails.
All right.
So that was horrible. So the city cut prescription drug benefits. They just cut them because, Bloomberg's slashing.
And here come the snails.
And so here come the snails, and it takes him 2 days to get fired. 2 days with the screaming and slashing his own arms, and he's gone.
That'll do it.
That's it.
So, but he was otherwise, and he had in his bag, he had a lot of these, all his toiletries and clothes. Like, he was trying to take care of himself. He just was, anyway, and then I kept running into homeless guys who looked okay and seemed the same kind of borderline. One guy stopped, and I had a Red Sox hat on, and he goes, Red Sox, and he knew everything about the trades and stuff. I'm like, this guy's watching television somewhere. When you like a homeless guy who's chatting with you about Lost, and you're like, this guy's
he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah. But then as he's talking to me about the Red Sox, then he starts twitching and going, bitch, and then he ran away, and I'm like, oh, poor guy. That guy's he's 2 pills away from being fine. But those pills cost like $1,000 each because this is the cruelest country in the world. So those are overnight, like 1 day of prescription drugs going down in the city, and then 50,000 homeless people with the exact same problem.
I'm with you. I love talking to homeless guys. I love it.
Yeah, who's more fascinating?
It's like watching a movie.
Yep.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Their story,
you gotta watch their hands so they don't stab you or anything.
Yep.
But besides that,
their stories are definitely going to be more interesting than most of the idiots that you love in life. People that I literally feel love for.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But that guy, really? Snails in your hand? Then he's from Pakistan. He also had a really interesting story because he came over here when he was 12 years old. This is how a lot of immigration, this is how legal immigration works. His family Pakistani family owns 10 gas stations in Queens, and his distant uncle paid for him to come, sponsored him to come to the United States, took care of all of his legal work, got him a green card. And to pay for that, he works in the gas station from 12 years old till 18. Right. Lives in the basement of the gas station. Yeah. Literally lived in. I'm like, gas stations have basements.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I lived in the basement. It's just a bed and a lamp, and he just sleeps, pumps gas, slave labor for 6 years.
Maximum overdrive.
Yeah, and then when he gets to 18, go hit the streets. And that's the life of a lot of these guys.
Why such a slow animal on him? Why couldn't he have had a faster animal? I mean, you can't get away from snails, you idiot. Just walk away from them.
That was bugging me. The fact that it's snails. That story, that's the one thing that bothered me.
It might have been worms. I don't remember.
You should have thrown warm butter on them.
What's snails?
They can't even really stay attached to you.
It's kind of creepy.
No.
You
just push them over.
Ew.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's not even leeches,
slimy.
Well, you get that feeling in your body, I guess, without those pills. You just
That's got to suck.
You get mad at this. Yeah.
You're right on.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, gross.
I need a pill.
Why don't they be homeless then where there's health care? Canada.
Well, because they had health care for a minute. They had the pills here, and then they didn't.
The second you get laid off then.
And the second you laid off, you look at your bottle, you look at your little amber bottle, and you go, that's how much time I got left before.
0 refills.
Before I'm worthless.
And then run up to Canada.
Yeah.
And get it there.
That's got to suck if subconsciously all right, I'm sane as long as this...
Exactly.
As long as I got the pills in this bottle.
Here it is. Here's my sanity.
And what happens? You take that last pill, go,
here they come.
Here come the snails. That's got to... I'd rather be crazy and not know it.
That's exactly
because there are people out there that are crazy and they understand it.
Well, because they're underwater. The guys who don't know it are guys who just never got diagnosed or never got... This guy took care of himself.
Yeah.
And then he just knows. He goes, imagine that. Going I know they're not real, but I'm not going to know they're not real.
Yeah, it's like flowers
in an hour.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Exactly.
My dad was one of these guys that had to help everybody, and he took in a lot of people, and a lot of these people were exactly what you just described. And there'd just be crazy crap happening in the house, and we'd have to call their family. Oh, I guess he's off his medication again.
Yeah.
Go in his room, find whatever the medication was, force it down his throat, and he'll be okay.
You're trying to kill me with poison.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude.
It's why are we dealing with this guy's problem?
A half an hour, you'll be like, hey, what's up?
He's like, hey, thanks for giving me that poison. I feel better.
I really needed that.
But we would be, in a
You're with the CIA, and you're...
We had one of those.
Really?
We had one where he was convinced we worked for the government and that we were following him, and he would go at it with my brother all the time, like, I know you're with the FBI or CIA. You're following me. I don't want you following me anymore. My brother loses it. Like, look, I'm their son. This is my house. I grew up here. I'm doing some work around the house. I'm not following you.
Yeah.
So fast forward about a week, my brother's up in the attic, and he's doing some stuff. He's doing some repair work, and he puts his foot through the ceiling. And he looks through the hole, and there's the guy looking up like, see, I told you!
Oh, no.
True story.
Oh, no.
I told you, you're following me.
I've always wanted to do that to those people. Like, when I worked at Conan, I worked at 30 Rock, and my window looked out over this little plaza, and there was this crazy, wild, bearded man who would stand there with the Bible all day. Nice. He smelled like you could smell him from a long time.
Yeah.
And he'd just, God said, this is the day. I'm here to tell everybody. And we started fantasizing about getting, like, painting a car certain colors or something and, like, pulling up and saying, you're right, get in, let's go. We gotta get going. Like, just totally fulfilling all this craziness. Wear some, like, show him a badge and go, you're right, the president needs to see you right now.
I knew it.
Oh, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, how would they react to that? Like a crazy person?
Well, I got my stuff in a cart around the corner, though.
Just throw him on Conan like that.
Yeah, exactly.
To tell his story.
Hey, didn't you had a cool story? Did you ever tell the Martin Sheen story? I love that one.
Martin Sheen. Oh, yeah, he was on Conan, and we did a bit with him. And I wrote a bit for Martin Sheen to do on the show, Apocalypse Now throwback bit. And so the publicist actually said he wants to hear the idea before he commits to it.
Makes sense.
So I called him on the set of Gettysburg or some movie he was making, and he was in character. He was talking to me as Robert E. Lee. In character. But I've had guys do that before. The thing is that he's talking to me as Robert E. Lee, the general, but he's discussing, like, what time his flight gets in. Like, 20th century stuff. Like, what's well, sir, I fly into LaGuardia, I believe.
I'll have to leave my sweet Magnolia as I catch a connecting flight.
Through DFW. And get a town call, sir.
Atlanta's burning. Why, I gotta get down there.
And take the space shuttle to...
That's hysterical.
But so then we get it. He's in the dressing room, and I'm trying to talk him into the bit because he said he was going to think about it. So I'm trying to talk him into the bit, and me and the two producers are talking to him, and then this little kid walks by at the door of his dressing room, and he goes, "That was one of God's little miracles that just walked by our door, gentlemen." He's being like the president or something. I don't know what the point of that was.
The West Wing kind of.
Yeah, it was one of God's little miracles. Just walk by our door, gentlemen.
Without any sarcasm.
No.
All right.
And we're
with
like
sarcasm. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really funny.
And I'm still just trying to talk him into doing my bit. So I'm like, oh yeah, I know. I love the children.
Well, did the kid have a hanger on his head? Then maybe he's right.
A little hanger hooked lip, like all jerked up. I have 2 children, and I still think that was a lot of crap. Yeah. I still hate him for it.
Little miracles right there.
That makes my head itch when I hear that story.
Oh, God.
Yuck.
Miracle? Is
terrible.
It? Really?
Yeah.
What's the miracle?
Both of your drug-taking miracles.
Exactly. I aimed, I hit it, she came out. Wow.
Ever did the bit?
What? He did the bit. He actually nailed it. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. It was just a bit we did called a two-way mirror in the dressing room. We pretended we had two-way mirrors.
Oh, okay.
So we'd catch them doing weird things. And he was shaving, and he cuts himself shaving, and then he goes into the spiral, Apocalypse Now, Saigon dressing room thing.
Yeah, where he's just
starts going bananas.
Himself against walls.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
John Grisham is on Good Morning America with a book called The Associate. And I love it. What was that one he wrote about the young lawyer, the conflict? I'd like to spit warm tea in his face. Shut up with lawyers.
How about another concept?
There's a young lawyer, and he's up against it.
Something.
Yeah.
And he's got to win this case.
Yeah, because to prove his father was. Wasn't there a time where Tom Cruise, every movie he did was a guy who had to have something to prove because his dad was.
Oh, of course, because his dad was.
Every single one, the car racing, the lawyer, and the pilot.
Yeah.
All three were a guy who, a lot of talent, but real self-destructive because his dad was a real.
I flew at your dad.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what happened.
Let me tell you what really happened.
Story. It's classified. Now let's go play homosexual volleyball with no shirts on.
Few good men, too.
What?
Few good men, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I said because he's a lawyer. He's an idiot.
Sorry,
Stupid idiot.
I didn't catch
That's the
it.
one I meant.
I'm sorry.
No, I meant Cocktail.
Right.
Where you played a lawyer in Cocktail, didn't he?
His father was the best bartender there was.
Wow, all right. Right there is one of
bottles like crazy.
one of God's little flubs, gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
Oh,
How did you react to that? Did you make a noise?
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. 'Cause I just really wanted him to do my dumb little bit.
Of course.
Which I can't imagine. I can't fathom the motivation I had to do that job. Now that I'm 41 and I do as little as possible.
Amazing.
Just waiting to die.
Talk Martin Sheen into doing your bit.
Mm-hmm.
You got to not only write the friggin' bit and everything, but then sell it to the guy.
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
Oh, that's too much work.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's horrible.
And then you got to listen to drivel like God's little miracle.
There were guys who I tried to, like, what's his name? Rip Torn, is that his name? From
No, there's a Rip Taylor and
Rip Taylor, I don't know which
one's
one he
legit,
is.
one's a queer.
Yeah. Literally confetti throwing queer. Literally. With no hyperbole.
No other way to look at it, right?
It's literally on his business card.
Oh, I see what's going on here.
Confetti throwing queer.
That's funny.
You say that without the slightest malice.
No!
He would answer to it without flinching. I think it's Rip Torn that was on the Larry Sanders Show.
Oh, yeah, that's Rip Torn. He loves his drink.
Yes, and he showed up to do a bit that we had, and he had funny teeth. He wanted to put in funny teeth.
He wanted to.
Yeah, he said, I want to just put the funny teeth in and make funny noises. I'm like, well, we have a bit written.
What?
Yeah. And he was hammered. He smelled like booze.
Oh, really?
And I'm talking to him. I'm all 24 years old. I don't even understand what he is. And I just know he's famous. I didn't even watch the show at the time. And I'm like, will you do this bit? And he goes, well, I want to put in the funny teeth. I got these funny teeth. I'm like, well, this bit, we really prepared it. It's probably going to be really good if you do that instead. Well, I think my teeth are funny.
Oh, no.
I'm like, well, I'm not sure how the teeth... And he goes, they never give me this kind of trouble on the Larry Sanders Show. I get to do what I want there. And I go, yeah, go ahead, put the teeth in, do whatever you want. We'll cut to you, and you do whatever you want with those teeth, buddy. And I thought, I'm letting this guy just hang out to dry on his own, because I don't care anymore.
Right.
And then he did it, and it killed, and it was really funny. I don't even remember what it was.
He knew what he was doing?
Yeah, he did.
You gave him the rope to hang himself with.
Yeah. And he did.
And he lassoed a redheaded punk with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was so hoping for a good ending there.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's happened before with Eve, the R&B artist. I don't even have a sense of what she does exactly. Eve, black woman who's famous.
Yeah.
Right.
I was working on the MTV Movie Awards, and I had to do patter with people. Like, I had to give people funny things to say off a teleprompter.
Ooh.
And the thing on awards shows, those stupid jokes are the best you can do. That's why they're like that. I've worked for those shows a few times. The reason those jokes are so bad is because that's the highest you can possibly reach. There's always good comedy writers on those shows that write really clever stuff. It doesn't function on those shows, and you can't do no jokes because it's just dead. But if you've ever presented at an awards show, people are milling around. Nobody's listening to you. Like, everyone's walking around and talking at other tables, and it's a mess.
Terrible.
There's no focus. So all you can do is squint, and you should, and I used to tell these stars this, who were like a little lost, look at the teleprompter more than you even have to. Make it clear that this is our bad joke and not yours.
Okay, yeah.
Don't look like you mean it, because you're gonna go down hard.
You're gonna eat it.
This is really going to suck.
Yeah.
Squint.
Yes.
Put glasses on even if you don't wear glasses.
Yeah, exactly. But so
Put your hand over your eyes.
Yeah. Right.
Like you're
And
looking
do with your
into
finger,
a
like, can you
valley.
roll that back again?
Yeah, roll it back.
Yeah. But Eve was presenting with Vin Diesel.
Oh, that guy's good.
Wow.
He's terrific.
Vin Diesel wanted to do a bit. He showed up early to rehearse and said, I want to make sure I don't like ever to look like a fool. I want to make this right. And I know this is a comedy-based show.
Why did he make movies?
Why does he use that stupid name?
Yeah, exactly. But we wrote a bit for him where he's up with Eve, and she says, hey, Vin, is that your real voice? And he goes, no, it's actually a fake voice. And she goes, really? Can I hear your real voice? And he goes, okay. And then he goes even way lower and says, this is my real voice. And I asked him, can you do that? And he did it, and he can go lower than he really is. It's crazy. So we're going to do it. It's
kind of works. Sure.
It's kind of a funny bit. So he goes, they're coming from separate wings. Eve didn't talk to anybody till the second it's about to happen. And she's looking at it with me. We're about to, and she goes, I don't like, this is stupid. Stupid. I'm not going to do this stupid thing. And I go, but it's this, Vin is expecting this. He came to rehearsal. No, I'm not going to, I'm going to just go out there and say, how's everybody feeling? Are we feeling the love? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care, okay? Because
I like how Lou just gives.
No, I don't care.
People like whatever.
Go.
Good.
Go look.
Kill yourself.
Yeah. So she went out there, and Vin, she said whatever she wanted, and he kept reading the cards. I really wish there was a tape of it somewhere.
Oh, no. So it's two completely different things.
Yeah, she goes, how's everybody feeling? And he goes, yes. Like he answers. He's doing his part. And she goes, does everyone feeling the love? And he goes, this is my real voice.
Holy shit.
And then they both look around like, what just happened? And then they go to a package of, the clips.
Yeah.
The awards for, MTV stuff. And he was really upset. He
must have been.
He was almost crying. That's how much he wanted that to go well.
Really?
Yeah. He took it as a personal failure.
Was he mad at her?
No, he wasn't. He was too dumb to be mad at her.
He's too dumb to realize she's the one.
He thought he screwed it up.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I hate her. I really hate her. Every time I see her, I hope she dies while I'm watching.
This is stupid.
This is stupid. Really? Maybe you're stupid and ugly.
Wow.
Good. Go ahead. Do whatever you want. Yeah.
Opie and Anthony. The Virus. Sirius XM.
Well, guys, I mean, we didn't get to the Obama and Congress of Blasting City because the jet got bought.
Well, the jet thing is pretty funny.
Barack Hussein.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, the jet thing, because Ann had a good observation how, like,
Citibank, apparently, part of the bailout.
Yeah.
The government gave them a lot of money, and they decided to buy a, how much was that?
$50 million
$50 million private jet for their executives.
That's what they do with the money?
Yeah.
Well, what do people think these guys are doing?
Yeah, I think they think they're doling it out door to door.
Yeah,
we screw you out of some cash here. So they decided to get the $50 million private jet.
Scumbags.
A French jet too. They didn't even buy
But see,
American.
it's not even embarrassing. It's just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Like like they gave the 350 billion so far to the banks, and they just said thanks, and they just kept it, and they're not doling out loans.
No, they're not
helping.
Fixing
banks.
Own jets.
They own everything. They don't care. They're raping the country. They have never cared.
Yeah, apparently.
They have all the there was that story once how an ATM machine got loaded wrong, so somebody put the hundreds in the tens drawer.
Yeah.
And so idiot moron Americans lined up around the block to get 10 times their money out, as if the bank isn't just going to go and say, well, we know how much you took, give it back, jag off.
In Monopoly, it says bank error in your favor. I get to keep that.
But that's, and like the guys in the car companies that showed up in jets, that's what those people do. They're fat pigs. They don't care about other people. Why, they didn't care before. Why do you think and then they show up in cars like, oh great, that means that they always just drove cars.
Yeah.
I think it's
that fixes it.
We never saw this, really.
Yeah, well, that's because we're stupid.
But we never really saw it.
We're seeing it now.
And now we're seeing it.
What's up with the corporate jet, though? Obama's jumping on this thing?
Yeah, I think he's...
basically saying, give the jet back. What are you doing?
Enough. We gave you a bailout and stuff. It's like your friend coming to you crying, going, I'm going to lose my house. My kids are starving and stuff. I have no car. I got to think, I need some money. And then you give him some cash, and there he is, in the brand new
gold
caddy.
chain. Yeah.
Or loading.
Hey, how you doing?
Loading up his car with his brand new golf clubs.
It's like, where are you going?
Like,
heading for the airport, man. We're going to Disney.
But that's what those people were, just pure money for blood people. They're not.
They really are disgusting.
Well, but that's if you're going to attack it and say that they should take a car to the Capitol and all that kind of stuff, then you're a communist. Which is, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think we should be more socialist, but you got to be honest about it. If you're saying that those guys should be like pinching pennies because their workers are suffering, oh, I laid off 8 guys today. I guess I'd better, trade in my gold toilet seat for something else. That's socialism.
But if we give them money, I think that temporarily, at least, the government has the right to go, all right, you know what? If you want this money, you're going to spend it this way, so we don't have to come and bail your ass out again.
That's socialism.
But if it's temporary, I don't think it is.
Temporary socialism.
I don't think it is because they're asking you for something.
Yeah, but you're replacing the Darwinist Ayn Rand capitalism.
I don't know what Darwinist
model.
is. You have to
I gotta go back though to Chrysler.
You're replacing that with the responsibility to the people by those who wield the most power, which is corporations. They have to suddenly be responsible to the people and act in a way that takes everyone's needs into consideration. That's socialism. Instead of just saying get whatever you can and have that jet be incentive for their just grab and grab. That's what this country's based on.
But they're back on their feet, then they can do what they want. Like in socialism, right? It doesn't work that way. Like if once you get the money from the government. And once you're bailed out, now the economy's better, you do what you want again.
Well, it's like Hong Kong socialism, how the Chinese maintain Hong Kong as this whorish capitalism system, and they let it be there because they need the money. Now they're doing it in Shanghai also, and they're doing it in
because
every big city.
Communism doesn't work very well.
No, but they're blending it. They're blending communism with capitalism, which is what we're going in the other direction.
And they got a class system that's horrific. They got the extremely rich and the extremely poor. So
just like
welcome to here.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like, it doesn't really work that way. I wanted to bring up Chrysler was bailed out years ago under Lee Iacocca.
Right.
What's the difference between then and now? They were bailed out. They actually wound up turning a profit and paying back the government with interest. Why?
When was the last time you bought a Chrysler?
Well, I know. I'm just saying exactly.
Or a Dodge.
It's like I'm just saying, why can't that model work today, where you lend them money?
I don't know.
I don't know. They pay you back with interest.
I don't know a single thing about what I'm talking about, so I can't answer you.
I know. I don't know that either.
I actually do know the answer to that.
Yes, Jimmy.
Because the economy is so much worse now. That the anticipation of getting their profits up in order to be able to pay back is definitely not good.
No, it was pretty bad back then.
Just made that up. Was hoping it sounded right.
Yeah, and also GM is down to what it was in the 40s.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great.
Fantastic, isn't it?
I don't know, I'm excited for it all.
The new General Motors car.
All right, let's get out of here.
Tour America. See the USA in your Chevrolet.
It's music marathon time, so we got to get out of here. We're
Butterfly windows.
Yeah. We're going over to Sirius XM Satellite Radio. Louie is going to be joining us over there.
Hydromatic transmission.
And if you're not going to join us, you have yourselves a fine day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Opie and Anthony, the virus. Sirius XM.
Louie CK made the walk over to Sirius XM Satellite Radio as we continue with the program. Talking about wear and tear injuries and whatever. Maybe it was just a good conversation for 4 instead of a million. Sometimes we do that. Oh, let's do that again. And it doesn't have the same feel.
Nah.
Everyone feels uncomfortable.
It was just conversation.
Yeah, it was just conversation. Sure.
Yeah.
Who's Susan?
Some fan has everybody signing something for Susan on a piece of paper. Like, what is she going to do with that?
Yeah, what is that?
I can understand a picture or something. It looks a little nice.
Scroll it up and cram it in her cunt.
Just a piece of paper with a lot of paragraphs on it.
Nice.
When I was at Bonnaroo, Jim, you and I were in Bonnaroo. And in Bonnaroo, there's always these hippie girls.
Yeah, man.
Nice, right?
The common attire is a bikini top and cutoff shorts.
Uh-huh.
And they're just laying in the middle of the grass, like 19-year-old girls, just stoned and usually passed out, with their legs spread open.
Wow. And
their bush showing through their shorts.
How about that?
But I'm a father, and I look at that and I'm like, fucking irresponsible cunt. What are you doing? Like, this country got 2 wars in an economy. Splash some water on your face. Go back to school. But every time I saw a girl like that, I wanted to write a little note that says, roll up a note and put it in her vagina. And then she pulls it out and it says, "This could have been a penis, you idiots." I could have raped you. You wouldn't have woken up, you moron.
You love being a father, but does it bother you to have daughters?
Not in the same way it does most guys. I mean, I feel a more heavy responsibility to raise them well.
Right, you want to make sure you really do a good job.
Yeah.
Well, the running gag is always, that's why she's got the daddy issues. That's why she's up on the pole. You know,
well, I don't look at it that way. Like, to me, that's what every guy... A lot of fathers think that failure means that she ever touched a penis.
Yeah.
And she's a whore, and and so they run... any child or person in the world is going to run to sex. It's just an instinct. It's how you survive. So if you get between a child and sex, they're going to find an end run around you through shame and disgrace. The quickest line from a person to sex is a happiness and pride and joy and if you get into between that, they make them take that end run. Go through shame and disgust and self-hate and Jimmy getting shit on.
Your success as a stripper is my failure as a father.
Your success. Even though it's bringing in a nice coin right now. Even though it's paying for my retirement.
Yes.
So I don't have this thing of like, I mean, a lot of fathers have that thing of like, I don't want her ever, I knew a guy who he bought his daughter a BMW because he wanted her to have a nicer car than the guys in her school.
I see what he's going for.
Yeah, because he just doesn't win because he's got this
I'm not getting a
fantasy.
piece of shit.
But now the dude is driving the nice car.
Yeah, he's driving her nice car while she's blowing him.
You just made it even easier for the guy.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the way I look at it is and also you're doing the opposite. You're making the girl have a high threshold of what she needs. She's gonna need a guy with a BMW. If you raise a girl with some confidence and some, and you give her some bedrock, you send her out into the world like feeling like she can do whatever she wants and give her some
She's still gonna get her face and ass fucked.
Yes, she is. She is, Jimmy. She's going to, but she's going to do it on her terms. She's going to grab that dick by the base and go, I want to suck this right now. That should be your goal as a father. That your daughter only sucks a dick that she thinks is delicious. She sees the smelly, shriveled dick of a rich guy like you and says, I could take it or leave it. I got my own. I've set myself up.
Yeah.
I know I can get myself a job and take care of myself. I'm only gonna viciously suck dicks that I want to. I'm only gonna let guys who are quality guys fuck me hard in the ass while pulling my hair and choking.
What's your worst fear having daughters though, as they get older?
Yo, man, I'm a fan of your shit. Your daughter's my girl.
Yeah. My biggest fear. Just that there's nuclear apocalypse and they're just on a pile of debris.
You're all right.
No,
lost in the sauce.
I have horrible fears as a father. Horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
not the horrific stuff. I'm just saying.
Well, those are the ones you have. I mean, those are the ones you have. Is there's horrible things that can happen to them in this world. I can't believe.
Then you better not see the movie Taken.
Yeah, I would never. Yes. That kind of shit is just so manipulative to me. It's like
really
so easy. It's easy button to push with a parent. But to me, if the the idea that my kids are going to go to school by themselves, even that I'm going to open the door and say see you later, have a good walk to school. That to me is unconscionable. I don't see that day. I can't live it in my head.
Wow, that's fucked up.
A day that they leave without, and I did it every day from second grade. I used to walk to school alone.
Walk to school alone, just like, hey, I'm going out. You hop on your bicycle and just fucking tear out somewhere. And you wouldn't even come home for hours, and then you come home and your mom's just like, oh, yeah, back.
You walk
weren't even thinking about where you were or anything.
No, but I think you're lucky because nowadays everyone has a cell phone. Like, when we grew up, you just were out that front door on your own until you came back. Now you could at least, check on them a little bit.
I guess so. I don't know.
Maybe they don't want that, though. So you got to figure out how that's kind of cool without being overbearing, I guess.
Yeah, and I think the whole cell phone thing of people being always accessible, it's all just very weird. I don't know how to be a parent in that environment. I don't know how to be one without it. I wasn't a parent in the 70s.
Sure.
But I was a kid in the 70s, so I had the relationship that way.
A lot of freedom.
I don't know how this shit's going to work. I am scared of it.
Tim from Columbus, what's Louie's biggest fear as his daughters grow older? One word. Anthony.
No.
Listen, if my daughters grow up And again, they have a whole life that they can sustain on their own, and they meet a guy like Anthony, and they find it might be fun to roll in the hay with that pig. I hope they get what they want out of the situation.
Wow. Nice.
His rich guinea fingers.
His little bizarre mustache up against their cooch.
Yes.
Whatever,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Leaving the house alone, though. Wow.
That's
the one.
what scares me. But then I don't think about them in the other term. They're going to be grown. They're going to be adults. It's no longer going to be any of my business what they do with that.
Right.
Wow.
But until
It's
then,
not there.
it's got to be just a nightmare.
The only thing that I think about, is just them. I worry about that, and I think about it sometimes irrationally. You can't help it. About them getting hurt or something.
Too much fucking turmoil.
It's a dangerous
Too much
world.
worry. Too much fucking this. I don't even know how or why you have kids. I don't know. Not you personally. I'm talking to everybody in the world, plus you.
It's a lot of
It's
fear.
like, why the fuck,
No,
and then your whole life is like, now I got to worry about. I'd rather just worry about me and make sure I fucking make it through life.
It's a lot easier just to worry about yourself.
know?
Now that
Well, you know what,
now that I'm married, it's like, holy shit, I gotta this is weird. I
don't even want
actually really have
fish.
to worry about someone now.
No.
Not the fake worry, like, oh, that sucks, but then you move on with your life. It's like, wow, I really have more worry in my life.
and in a way though, it's
and then you add kids to that. That's crazy.
Wow.
Well, when you have kids too, that kind of does a give and take though, because I don't worry about myself anymore.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
I don't care about what happens to me. It's not important. Only in terms of them. Like every time I have thoughts of suicide, don't worry, I'm fine. But every time, it happens to everybody, I go, oh, I'd like to just fucking cash out right now. I don't need this anymore. My first thought is I can't do it. I got the kids. I can't do it. So I don't think in terms of my own happiness anymore. I just think about their like, there's some parents, and I think it is actually good that my only worry is the ghoulish fears of, like, the random things that could happen.
Yeah.
Because some parents are like they answer that question, what's your biggest fear? That they'll forget who I am and not love me when I'm, fuck you, you know?
Fuck you.
Gives a shit. Most parents are very narcissistic about that they'll know that I love them. And like in The Wrestler, which I really loved, but when he says to his daughter, I just don't want you to hate me. Fuck you. Let her hate you. If that's going to make her healthy, who gives a shit?
Right.
It's not about you.
Stop with the guilt.
Yeah, you fucked somebody and had a child.
Right.
Now your responsibility has shifted to them.
Yeah.
You don't longer have right to be selfish.
Tell him, Fred.
The Virus. Sirius XM. This is the Opie Anthony Show.